Hi, today from Gothenburg in Sweden. Here behind me you can see the old stock exchange building of Gothenburg, and today I will tell you about a very special skill of billionaires that allows them to do business in any possible scale, that allows them to be limitless in business. What it is, you will find out after the break. See you. I get many comments, many emails standing, I would do big business, I would do that or the other thing, but I don't have the money, I don't have the capital to pull my ideas off, to do great things, to realize my big ideas. And the thing is, now there is enough money for everybody, and money is never a limitation. And I will give you one peculiar skill of billionaires that allows them to scale their businesses like crazy, that allows them to do business on any scale that you can imagine, that allows them to put virtually no limits to their endeavors. And the skill is called other people's money. This is the skill, the ability to engage and use other people's money for your goals, for your business endeavors, to realize your big ideas. And there is enough money in the world. And billionaires have many methods, many options how to attract that money and how to use that money, how to make business with that money, actually, how to use that money as a capital or a working capital for their businesses. And one of very simple methods is to found a capital company, or let's say a stock company. If you issue stock and you take money for that stock, you sell that stock, right, of your company, people pay for that stock, and you put that as a working capital to your company, and you can raise generally as much as you want. It's only up to your convincing power, and this is your only limitation. So if you want to realize a project for $10 billion, you can attract $10 billion in capital if you can convince other people, like investment funds, like maybe wealthy individuals, or millions of individual small investors, to your plans and to what you're gonna do. And this OPM, other people's money skill, is one of the basic or the most important skills of billionaires. There is never, a capital is never a limitation. Only your skill is a limitation to attract that capital. And why I'm talking about that from Gothenburg? Gothenburg celebrates 400-year anniversary of the city, and it is a really wealthy city in Sweden, and a lot of that wealth was accumulated in the era of East India trade in the 17th, 18th, mainly in Sweden in the 18th century, where Gothenburg specialized in trade with India. And for businessmen, for talented businessmen, founded an East India Company, the Swedish East India Company, in 1731. They were pretty late to the game, because before that the English East India Company and also the Dutch East India Company were founded, and they generally monopolized the trade with the colonies in East India, generally with the colonies in India and around that area, in East Asia, in Southeast Asia, as you would say. And they wouldn't allow other nations to trade with these areas. They would just declare war, sink these ships that attempted to do that. And some of the businessmen didn't get enough, let's say, piece of the game from that companies in Netherlands, in England, and they came here and founded an East India Company. And here behind me you can see the main office of that company. And what they did, they had this idea to monopolize the trade with, not with India, because India was taken, so to say, by the English, and Africa was taken by the Dutch. But they said we would go further for China, and we would trade tea. And what they did was to get a monopoly from the king. To do that, of course, they said king will get share of the profits, but we would like to have some privileges. So the monopoly for that, some tax cuts and some privileges like priority handling of our ships, and we are generally the holy cows here in the country, and no jurisdiction applies to us, generally stuff like that, like let's say some companies enjoy our in the new era, like the FIFA, for example, the World Football Association. They got that from Swedish king, and of course they said, if somebody from Sweden would trade with that area or whatever, they are allowed to capture, to confiscate the goods, and so on and so on. So what they did was generally make a deal with the king, and then enjoy the monopoly, and it was a very profitable endeavor. It lasted, I guess, 150 years, and it was a lot of the wealth accumulated here in Gothenburg came from that trade with actually China and Guangzhou. You may know Guangzhou nowadays, and at that time it was an economic powerhouse in China. They imported mainly tea, but also China, like ceramics and textiles like silk and so on, but 95% was tea, and it was auctioned directly in Gothenburg and bought up by merchants from Europe and distributed in the entire Europe. So generally this Swedish East India Company, although they were 100 years late to the game of colonization, let's say, or trading with colonies or with newly discovered regions of the world, they made a huge amount of money. And of course what they did was they founded a stock company, because they came to the king and say, we want to found this company, and king said, okay, you could do that and you can share profits with me, but I don't have money for that. I have wars here, I have my own expenditures, I don't know, construction, whatever. So take care of the money. If you raise the capital, we can make a deal, right? And they say, okay. So they went out, founded a stock company generally, but it was a very primitive stock company at the beginning, because they issued shares for every expedition. So if they commissioned a ship to go, to China for that specific expedition, for that specific travel, and trades during that travel, they raised capital, they issued shares, whatever, and only 30-50 years later they issued real shares for this share company, for this stock company, so that people could participate in every expedition. And it was of advantage because some expeditions, got into trouble, ships sank, the merchandise sank, or maybe they got captured, they needed to be released, or they got damaged, they needed to be repaired, the ships. So some of them were more profitable, some of them were less profitable, some of them were just lost. So if you had bad luck and participated in an expedition or invested in an expedition that got wrecked, then it's bad luck. But if you had shares, if you had stock in the entire enterprise, then you could mitigate the risk and let's say diversify the risk, as you would call it today. And so it came that the largest building here behind me, in the most representative building in Gothenburg, is the offices of the East India Trade Company, of the Swedish East India Trade Company, that became crazy rich and also contributed to the wealth of Gothenburg and made Gothenburg to what it is today. Of course, with time, this trade, this monopoly couldn't be sustained in that way, and the trade, due to different, leakages in trade, other countries trading with China, it became less and less profitable. But so it is with every company. You have an idea, you have a great business, it's never sustainable. It's never it never goes into eternity. I think there is only one company that sustained the business for roughly 2,000 years already, and this is the Catholic Church. Any other company, and maybe some some countries, but generally any other company has a limited lifetime. But as long as the company goes, you can make money. And actually that company, that East India Trade Company, survived or outlived each of the founders, because it lasted for 150 years, and the founders, they lived maybe 60, 70 years. I don't know how old they got, but they created something that outlived them. And this is what I wish to you, to create businesses that live so long and that are so profitable, that change the world. And to do that, you need capital, and you can raise this capital from people. One of the methods to raise capital is to found a stock company or a capital company and raise capital from investors for your ideas, for your business ideas, for your projects. And the amount of capital you can raise is only up to your skill, your convincing power. So I invite you to leave comments below about your ideas, other methods to raise money, to organize capital for your endeavors. If you liked this video, give me a thumb up. If not, of course, thumb down. Subscribe if you haven't. Share this video with your loved ones, with your friends. One day they will thank you for that. I talk here about how the best entrepreneurs in our world think and act, how the self-made billionaires of our times think and act. I talk here about how to do great, impossible things in life and business. I talk about economy, about business, about money. So if you like this video, you will certainly like my other videos. I invite you to watch them. That's it for today from Gothenburg in Sweden. Wish you a fantastic day. Let's do something extraordinary today.